great.
It's good. It's good. We got it worked out.
Yay.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm just letting some more folks join us.
Amen.
Started.
Amen. Yeah. This is fantastic. Look at your face. You're so pretty. I can't take it.
Pretty. You are so got to get cute for the people. You know, a little something. Oh my gosh, this is about to be cut up. Please.
Well, you know.
Oh my God.
Be fantastic. I think it's going to be fantastic.
I'm excited. Hey guys, welcome. Tell your friends, come join us. We're also fundraising for True Colors at the bottom, so check that out as well. I'm going to give people a few more minutes and then we can get right into it.
Okay.
So excited.
Oh.
And you're not here right now, right?
No, I'm actually in Minneapolis.
Okay.
St. Paul right now. Visiting. I have an aunt who's sick and visiting family, and just, wanting to see the feel of the city since what happened with George Floyd.
Mm-hmm. And that's your artistic home, yes?
Artistic home where I was raised, all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's deep, it's really deep, and I can feel it. Feel all of the things that has happened in the city as I've been able to go around. Social distancing and mask, of course.
Yeah.
But just being able to see all of that stuff and just talking to my family and stuff like that is very deep.
Yeah.
It's very deep.
I can imagine. I mean, and it's deep for all of us, but being from there, I can only imagine.
Yes.
I can only imagine. Well, let's get into it. People will come and join as they do.
Yes.
So first, let's just do mini introductions. I know a lot of people here probably already know who you are, but still, let's just, give a little sprinkle before we dive into our chat today.
Yes.
So Tonia Jackson, you are, other than amazing and brilliant. I'm
gonna take it because when I'm coaching and teaching, I'm always talking about go ahead and getting your praise and stuff like that. And so I can only preach what I practice, right? And so, yes, and thank you. So yes, Tonia Jackson, actor, activist, artist for social change, TCG grant, a fellowship, a winner this year, one of them under the umbrella of True Colors Theater Company, and so many more things, and just blessed and grateful and honored to be here because it doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah, amen, amen. And I am Brittany Inge, actor, activist, singer, writer, just lover of Blackness and Black stories, and mentor and mentee, which we'll get into, which is a perfect segue because one of the first things I wanted to talk to you about, Tonia, or ask you, as someone who has been a mentor and a teacher to so many, including me, and I'll talk more about that. I just want to know from you, like, what did mentorship look like to you coming up? Like, who were some of your mentors? How did you learn, or adopt your style of mentorship based on what was poured into you coming up?
Pretty much everything, because I live by the motto from another organization that I'm a part of, is that we can only keep what we have by giving it away. And so everything that has been poured into me, it's only natural, right? Because I talk about when I think about leadership, or mentorship, right? I always think about I want to be the leader or the mentor that I wish I had, the leader or the mentor that I did have. And so all of those things that were poured into me, it's only natural that I'm able to give it. And it's from a real and authentic place. It's from a place of love. It's from a place of wanting people to grow. It's from a place of wanting people to have a soft place to fall. It's from a place from understanding that when I was a young actor, I wish that I had some of the spaces that I'm able to create, that you're able to create, so that people can come and get the nourishment that they need as artists, specifically Black or women artists. A lot of our through line is kind of the same, and we think that we're crazy. And so I like to create these spaces so that we can unpack all of that, right? And you are saying, yes, it does hurt. Yes, there is joy. Yes, there are all the things. And I want to give it in a way that sisters may not take it from a white person or even a black male person. When it's coming from us, it's a different kind of way, especially if it's coming from an authentic place with no ego involved.
Right. And yes.
When I say that, yes, we all have egos and it can be a happy thing, but it's just never from that place. And so when that happens, then God, who I believe in, can work through me and allow for me to give what was so freely given to me.
Yes. And you kind of touched on it, but that's what I was going to say. I know personally from working with you, I was able to gain insight and wisdom that nobody but a Black woman could have poured into me. You know, it's one, yes, that was a cute adjustment. It's one to, be poured into about the general stuff, the facts of the business. Okay, you need this type of headshot. You need, that approach, the craft, all of that, completely understand. And you can get that from a number of sources and take the meat and leave the bones. But there are certain things that only a Black woman can break down for you. How you're seen in the industry. Like how you walk into a room and what it means to present yourself and be unapologetic in your Blackness. Nobody else can give you permission or guidance on that, like a woman can. No one. And so I think it's really important. And I'm so grateful for not only the space you created for me, but the spaces you've been creating for younger artists now. I'm just so grateful for them and being a part of, like, being able to come in and do my own form of mentorship. I feel like from you mentoring me, it has trickled down into me now becoming a mentor to others. And it's like you learn from, you took from the people you learned from and you went out and shared. And I feel like I'm doing the same thing. So it's an honor to, like, follow in your footsteps.
And put that on. Amen. So happy. Well, that makes me feel good today as I go into my final workshop where they're presenting their final presentations, which I know are dope because there's several of them out there using their platforms. Like we talk about, like, for these wonderful pieces of work, because I'm all about creating your own, right? Mm-hmm. I think if they can do it, we can do it. And it may not look like, this, I'm going to go all around because, I digress. But it may not look like what it might look like at the Guthrie or the Alliance or whatever, but it is your own thing, right? And sometimes you may not get paid for it right now, but you have an audience. So you can put the work out there and eventually there'll be a payoff.
Absolutely. I agree. I couldn't agree more. I know one of the workshops that I was just a part of with you, we were talking to the young ladies about creating their own narratives based on this amazing exercise you had done with them called I Am From.
Yes.
Coming for them, putting their heads together, putting their creativity to the test and saying, hey, create a narrative out of this. I know we're all in quarantine and all of that, but it could be a one woman, just like people do one woman shows. You can do a one person narrative and edit it together and have a story. And so that's the challenge that we've given them. And I'm so excited to see what they come up with, because like you said, there's literally nothing like creating your own. Whether you get paid for it right now or not, there's nothing like just having creative agency and license to go for it, and Black artists, especially, we need that. We really need that.
It's empowering. Yesterday, a young lady, Lisa, she put out a video that was mind blowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And somebody on there, I got to get with her because somebody was like, oh my God, I have some Adidas that I want to make for her and send to her for her to wear in her videos. And people have just been getting the testimony of just her putting out that piece. It's mind-blowing to me because I know, and she gave me permission to talk about this, I know what was going on with her. And for her to be a dancer and to do the stuff that she's doing, and she has MS, and walking through that it just made me weep. Because the strength that it takes for us just to pull ourselves out of bed every morning, open up the blinds with those double languages that we have in our mouths, right? And to create is just fantastic. I mean, I just think it's fantastic. Also, somebody told me if you build the house, they will come.
That's right.
And I get really emotional about this because I've been wanting to do this. But I always think, and I've never been one who liked to throw a party because I'm like, nobody's going to come. I'm a Black teacher and I'm an actor and I'm a Black artist. And sometimes even my own, I have to say, you can trust me.
Yeah.
Doing this for 30 years. If you want to know the story and why I'm not quote unquote famous, whatever that means to you, let's have a conversation.
Right.
But I am a working actor, and I
Yes.
have been on the boards for 30 years, and I've been doing art activism for just as long. So
Yes.
I'm valid. The thing that we always have to prove our validity is the thing sort of that, like, I'm trying to get the young people I work with, try to do it now and try to make your thing now. Because what happens when you become an older artist and people think, oh, well, if you ain't Viola Davis or you ain't, you know, Kerry Washington, then you're not valid. You know what I'm saying? But check the resume. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Check
Yeah.
the receipts and you'll see. And my stuff comes from love, and it always does. So I'm just trying to draw more people because of that. Because one emotion that I do not do, and I don't know why God didn't give it to me, is envy and jealousy. I just don't do it. It's not even my body, because I feel like if I have something I want, I can get it too.
Exactly.
If I have two legs, some feet, and some hands, and some get up about me, I can go get it too. Yes, and the gift makes room.
Yep.
The gift makes room for all of us. So if I succeed, you succeed. Brittany, how many times have we auditioned for stuff? And I'm like, come on, Brittany, I want you to get it. You say, come on, Tonia, I want you to get it. Because check it out. Somebody going to get lunch. And if you eating, I'm going to eat, vice versa. That's why I love Ensemble, which is going to be my next workshop, because everybody wants to look and do this theatrical masturbation where it's about watch me chewing up the scene. But the play is the star. The project is the star. And check this out. If we're doing ensemble and everybody's pretty, then everybody's going to shine. Exactly. What I can't stand to do, and once again, I digress, all these subjects, right? If I go to a show and the playing field is uneven, I'm talking about the relationships and all of that in the ensemble, then I'm going to check out. I don't want to go see where there's two people that's swimming and everybody else is trying to just catch up. I want everybody to be dope, because that makes for a good show. For me, it doesn't mean that I don't have that I don't have a hold to my character. It means that I do have a hold to my character, because I want you to shine. If we're on stage together and there's four of us, I'm going to pour and give and give and give and give. You know what I mean? So that we're all there. You must. You must. You must.
You must. And to one of your earlier points, you know, about people not always maybe listening to you or taking the things that you may advise them on seriously. You know, I always tell people, if fame is what impresses you, you might want to reassess that. It's not a judgment, because, you know, if that's what impresses you, fine. But when it comes to actors specifically, when it comes to this craft specifically, if fame is what impresses you, that is worrisome, because there are a lot of people who are famous for doing bad work.
Right.
There are a lot of people who are famous for doing nothing, nothing. So I just would, anybody who's on here listening, especially younger folks, like, if fame is what impresses you, if fame is what you're going for, I would just say, number one, there are lots of ways to be famous without trying to be an actor. That's one. And that's your business. In the words of Tap, that's your business. But, in addition to that, if you're serious about the craft, then that fame doesn't even need to be a factor, I believe, in the work that you're truly pursuing, or in the mentors that you're pursuing, is my point. Like, you need to pursue somebody who speaks your language, that can pour into you, that can teach you the things that you need to know to get to the levels that you say you want to get to. Beginning, end, period. You know, and that's just what I believe. And that's why working with Tonia was so fruitful and beneficial for me personally, because I know how to listen. I'm gonna pat myself on the back right now. I know how to listen. I know how to take constructive criticism. I know how to take the meat and leave the bones, take what's for me and leave the rest, and not take any of it personally. You know, when someone's trying to pour into you, it's not always gonna come out pretty.
It didn't come out pretty for us. And I think that we have, for the stuff, the way that we were taught, it's totally different. Like, we did not talk to like that. Let's go back to what you were saying. I think that was interesting, Brittany, because you're series regular. Yeah, I do film and TV too, but you've had the opportunity to do series regular. God is still working on that for me. So, but I mean, I have the plays, I have the stuff, and I've done the stuff. But when you talk about the fame, I know that I've seen people who are famous, and I'm not against that. You know I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way to get there. When you say you watch people's souls change, what is
Mm-hmm.
it? You've been in the room with the people. You know what I mean? And what
Yeah.
does it look like for you?
You
As
know,
far because you remain the same. How do you do that?
yes. Well, I was actually just having this conversation with one of my best friends earlier. And she was saying, like, yeah, isn't it so deep to you that you've stepped into these rooms and been around people who you may have even found yourself looking up to at one point, or, you know, a lot of people look up to, and then you get in the room with them and you realize, like, not only are these regular people, but your bank account might be bigger, but I'm a little bit more whole than you may be as a person. And that's not saying I'm better. It's just about the work that's been done. And I think what keeps me grounded and keeps me the same is you taught me that the gift makes room, right? And that nothing is more important than the work. And so the thing that keeps me sane and keeps me grounded is knowing that I'm not bigger than the stories I tell. I'm not bigger than the characters I portray. I'm not bigger than the projects that I'm a part of. Like, it is about the work for me. It's about my faith. My faith absolutely keeps me grounded. But I think putting the craft and the love for the craft at the forefront quiets all that noise for me. It quiets that noise. When I'm doing the work and I'm focused on the story and what I'm trying to convey and giving to my scene partners, whatever the case may be, it quiets all the ego and things that could try to creep in, people telling you how great you are, how beautiful you are, how this, how that. The work. So that's what it is for me that keeps me grounded.
And I think that that's beautiful. We were unpacking, we were talking about this workshop that I keep talking to you about, that Sandra Parks did, about the myth of the strong Black woman.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is that some of the stuff that she was telling me, because I was like, you're not about to come in here telling me that being a strong Black woman is not, you know what I mean? But the way she was unpacking that, yes, and that means that if I only say that, that means that I'm not looked at as a human being.
That's right.
As a machine, and that I can't be weak, I can't be vulnerable, I can't be cry, and I can't do all those things. But those are the things that give me my strength. Like, it's the total opposite. We've been trying to pack that particular work and use the I am from work, which has allowed me, I am from the places, you know, that we say that we're from. Because what's happened with that is that it is allowing me to heal my inner child, even at a particular age. Like, I'm able to go back and start to heal some of those things that I thought was broken, which was just pain. And so with that healing, I'm able to be a whole person, which is going to make me a better artist, which gives me more for my toolbox, which makes it when people come and sit down with their little clothes on and they make up or whatever it is, they went out to eat and they sitting here looking at me do something. And I climb there on the boards, that I'm giving them what they came for.
That's right.
Because work constantly. You know, I listen to my elders. Yes. I listen to my mentors. I have reverence for them. I understand that they came before me and paved the way. A lot of them are not here right now. They passed on. So I've been charged to do the work. And I do the work shaking. I do the work scared. Sometimes as secure or spiritually fit as I want to be. I have voices in my head sometimes that telling me you can't, you won't, and how dare you, and all the things. But I still continue to do the work. Yes.
And
yes,
all of it. And I also would say to that, how do you take care of yourself? When you know, because we all have those voices, right? Imposter syndrome, that's very real. And just doubt, you know, it creeps in, whatever the case may be. How do you take care of yourself to continue putting one foot in front of the other? What does self-care look like to you when you know, maybe having an off day, but the work still has to get done? Because we are, like you said, strong Black women. We're also human beings, but sometimes as a human being, shit still got to get done. So how do you navigate that?
First of all, when I find my monkey mind and all that stuff in the morning, before I even go out the door, I make sure I do all of my rituals, praying, meditating, talking to God, not at him and begging, talking to God, just quieting myself. I try to do yoga when I get a chance. I'm working on getting back to working out. But when you get to a particular age, you'd be like, I'm tired. I don't feel like it. But I really need to put that back in. And I just really just center and sit with myself. And I know if I'm overloaded or if there's too much, I just unplug. You know what I'm I unplug, and I'm really honest. I try to be as honest as I can with the people in my tribe, and with people who ask me stuff, and that helps me to keep my mental. Because if I'm lying to you, I'm lying to myself, and I'm not going to be okay, and I can't do the work. But I'm very intentional about that work in the morning every day before I get out and go. Very.
Yeah, I love that. I would say for me, working out is a big part of self-care for me. I don't necessarily love it, but self-care, what I've learned about self-care is it doesn't always look like things that you want to do. Sometimes it's just the stuff that you need, you know? And for me, working out is a big form of self-care for several reasons. One, I have, real transparent, I have like some body dysmorphia issues in the mind. So I always feel bigger than I am, and, you know, all this stuff. And so working out kind of helps to balance my mind, to keep me in focus with reality. That's number one. Number two, it always lifts my mood. For example, this morning you called me and we were, you know, preparing for this, and I was feeling all right, but I wasn't feeling my best. And shortly after we got off the phone, I worked out, and I felt all like my mood and things like that lift. And so I'm just sharing that and being very transparent to say that you really have to find the things that work for you, that can keep you on the up and up, because life is hard enough for anybody, but especially Black people, especially Black women. So whatever you can do to pour into yourself, if it's 15 minutes, today I worked out for 15 minutes, legit, but it gave me what I needed. So the same way that Tonia wakes up and does her meditation, which I have tried to follow in Tonia's footsteps with that, I'm a little bit inconsistent. I'm a little inconsistent, but I do meditate and definitely talk to God out loud. So things like that are just really important. So I just wanted to know what, you know, you were doing and share it with the people, you know.
Yes. Yes.
So as she griots, you and I are both definitely she griots. Like, what do you feel like, I don't want to say legacy, because you're still in it, and we're both still in, definitely me. But what do you feel like your mission is as a she griot? Like, what, you know, like your calling, if you will.
I think that definitely my calling is to do the work that I'm doing with young people. To make sure that when I'm telling stories, that I tell them in the best way possible.
Yeah.
I think just what we talked about earlier, everything that I've been given, that I just strip myself and give it away. I just that's just it. Like as I just do the work. I constantly do the work, and I'm always coming up with ways to do the work.
Yeah.
There's always things coming to my mind. I always ask, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing today? God, where would you have me be? What would you have me do? Who are the people you need for me to talk to? Because I don't get to pick who I help. God picks who I help, because he gave me this gift. And how dare I not do what he says for me to do?
Oh.
I'm always asking him to do something for me. So that is what I do. I stay on the front line. I stay doing the work. I'm not going to retire. I'll do it till I die. If you need me, I'm here. Like all of the things. I just do all the things.
Yes. Shout out to Margot Moorer. I see you on here.
Hey, Margot.
Love Margot. Another mentor, another actor who has definitely poured into me, poured her wisdom, her knowledge, her hilarity into me and my journey. So yeah, shout out to Margot. Oh man, I lost my train of thought. We were talking about she griots. Yes, your mission. Yeah, I just feel like I've always said this to you, like you do have a call to teach and to encourage like the next generation. I really believe that that's like on you heavy. And you just said something that that lesson of I don't get to choose who I help. That's tough. That is, I mean, that's a lesson that you taught me, you know, and so that's why I want to highlight it. That is a tough one to accept sometimes. You know, we all kind of battle with wanting to like control and no, God, well, I said I want this, but I want it this way. Well, you don't get to tell God, you know, how you're going to get it. So I don't know. I know I've had a very somewhat of a challenging walk with that, but I am growing in that area. And just in terms of, not only do we not get to choose who we help, you never know whose life you're impacting just by doing the work. So yeah, to your point, just yes and to that. I just wanted to highlight.
I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that until God would put these people in my life, these young people, and we're gonna get honest, right? At some point I'm gonna say that, and at some point I'm gonna do it.
Come on.
And so I just feel like we don't look. Yes, I pray. I love Jesus and all of that, but am I perfect? I'm not gonna cuss on this because this is professional. No.
I already cursed.
So we don't like everybody. And some people are mean. Mm-hmm. And some people talk about you behind your back and think that you don't know. And you still have to help them because God put them in your face, and God put them in your circle, and God put them in my groups, and God put them all up in there. And I say, God, I don't want to help her. And God said, then don't come to me asking me for your little stuff you be begging for every other third day. And so that's just what it is. But at the end of the day, I'm so happy that I get to do that. Just because of the way that people poured into me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. How do you feel like you've navigated your journey thus far as an actor, especially as a Black woman, like going from Minneapolis to coming to Atlanta, and just talking about that journey that got you to this point? And I want to add to that, the journey that got you out of like the day jobs and things that you didn't love as much, the journey that got you to manifesting the life that you said you wanted, which was to be a working actor, to teach, to work with young people, and that's all you do.
The reason I'm laughing is because me and you, girl, we be having these conversations. I said Brittany's wrong for that because she knows that how I am. And so, okay.
I know, but the thing is, even though I know, and you and I talk, because here's the thing, y'all, Tonia and I definitely started out as mentee and mentor, for sure. But we have become friends. Like, we are true friends. We talk on the phone. We talk about all the things, right? But this is a conversation about craft and our work and our journey. So even though I know a lot of this stuff and I may understand some of the things she's going to share, I want y'all to hear it because it's really good stuff. So that's why she's laughing at me.
Okay. Well, I've been acting since I was 19 as a professional. Yeah. I got my equity card in 1993. So I've been just doing it forever. And 85, school and the whole thing. So I've been doing all that, worked the theater companies, did all the regional, been all around, know all the stuff. The people have died. Some people have been born. I've seen people grow up, all of the And so there was a point where I was working these day jobs that I hated because I had, my kids and I have to live. And I'm a working actor, always have been, but still sometimes, they don't line up right. And so it came to a point where after the teaching, some people found me. I was teaching. I'm going to come. Here we go. Mm-hmm. I had been doing Summer Institute in Penumbra for probably 15, 20 years, something like that. I had quit that because we moved forward. When I did that day, I was on my way back to Atlanta and I had posted some pictures, right? Me and the kids. Somebody said to me, oh my God, I know these other people. I think it was Margot who introduced me to AGI with Natasha and those guys. Then I've quit that. And I love taking my pictures with my kids because they're fabulous. And those were industry kids. People, they've been on The Voice. They're on series, all of those kids, right? So after that, literally, I know this was God. That same day I was driving away from there, Brittany Horton came to me and said, Artesius Miller is looking for somebody that they want to teach to come in and help build a program at Utopian Academy for the Performing Arts. I said, an acting teacher? Like my acting?
Right.
It was like that. So I went in there as a substitute. When I was leaving, the children, because I taught them about protesting, and these kids in middle school, I shouldn't, but anyway. When I was leaving, they said, okay, can we do a protest where we go and ask them, can you stay? Girl, the children got together and went and did the protest. And next thing you know, they came in and they asked me to come in and I was able to build that theater program. So I was still kind of working a little bit of a day job, but when I wanted to put this mean manager in my mind, I was thinking, if this woman comes in my face and does this one more time, because she was awful, I am going to put her on the grill. I'm going to pick her up and I, Tonia Jackson, am going to put her on the grill. And so I knew that it was time for me to go. And I stepped out on faith. I went to go do Detroit 67. They called me to come do, thank God, thank you, True Colors, Lord have mercy. Thank you, Black Theater, put number, everybody. So and then after that, I said no longer. And then me and Lisa Watson, we had this thing about the airport because I had to work. And she said, girl, be careful because you're going to end up back at the airport. So I would always say, so at that point, I made the decision that the only thing that I was going to do, and it was rough that first year, was act and teach acting and coach. That is it.
Yes.
I'm not working nobody else's. I got my own coaching business. I teach and I act. And I'm not doing anything other than those things because those are the things that I love. And I am a particular age. So I don't have all these years left to be unpacking and doing all this stuff. I need to do my stuff right now. There's an urgency. There's a rush because I told myself for so many years that that couldn't happen.
Yeah.
But God said, that's a lie. You've been crying and begging, snotting. So here you go. And that's how I was able to do it. I stepped out on faith. I said, the lady ain't going on the grill. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I've been able to do that ever since because I made a decision. Now, in the beginning, it was money was tough. Yes. Yeah. But me not still being able to take care of my daughter who just graduated from Howard University, HU, as long as we have enough to survive, we're good and now God has just been dropping all kinds of gifts on me. So now only am I able to survive, but I can buy a cute shoe too.
Well, amen. Amen to that. Yes. And to all of that, I would say you made a decision.
Yes. I made a decision.
You made a decision. And I think that's so important. Whenever people come to me, they're like, well, how did you get started? How did you decide to, be a full-time actor, whatever the case may be? I made a decision. And so that's a through line. That's a common thread. Also, you guys, if you have any questions for us, you can start to throw them either in the comments or in the questions box at the bottom. But you made a decision. And I think that it's so important for people to hear that because when you make a decision, and you stick to it and you mean it, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, really responds to that no matter what. And it may not always look exactly the way, like we were saying earlier, exactly how you envision it at first. But when you make a decision, you can't help but win, I believe. Even with you saying you made the sacrifice and money was tight for a minute, but you kept going. No, this is what I'm doing. I'm acting, I'm teaching acting, and I'm coaching. And that's it. And I just think that is profound and important for people to hear. I had a similar experience. I saved X amount of dollars at my last day job because I've had several day jobs as well. I saved X amount of dollars, and when I was done, I was done. And it got tight. That money did not, it didn't last me to like booking Boomerang. No, the money was gone, and it got very tight and rough. But I made a decision and I was not going back on it. And so I just think people always say like, how did you do this? How did you do that? It comes down to how bad do you want it? And you and I have had that conversation before. I've sent people to work with you, to coach with you. I've recommended folks. And, I've heard a variety of reasons for why they can't continue. And I always say to them, cool, but how bad do you want it?
Yes, because I watched your story from the beginning when we got together. I watched you leave from over there and all the things. You did all the things. You were burning both ends of the candle all the time. And I used to be like, I don't know how this child is done. But then I saw myself and all of that work paid off. What you did is not a flash in the pan. Nobody gave you anything. I was there. I watched you break down in literal tears, almost to the floor, and say, I can't do this anymore. And I looked at you and I said, okay, you done? Come on, let's get busy. Okay. And this is it, because I believe you. And once you made that decision, you just went on about your business. That's just what it is. And it was rough, like you said. But if you want this, how bad? Remember, I know it's gonna be crazy. It probably sounds corny, but I'm old, so I can be corny. When fame cost. See, we grew up on that with the TV show. When she was talking about, Debbie Allen and how bad do you want it? People act like that's not still real. People want to just, and this whole culture of canceling and doing all this stuff. And if I can't have it, it ain't this and it ain't that and all that kind of stuff. But you have to work hard. Nobody's going to give it to you. And if they do, I don't back up off of it because I want longevity.
Okay.
Any of us can be famous for 15 minutes. I tell you, when you know that, when they coach with me or when they come into the workshops, as far as successful and being famous, we can teach you how to go that direction. Being a working actor, we can teach you how to go in that direction. You know what I mean? But the decision is up to you. And I think both of them are pretty. I think both of them are valid. But I know that I've been an actor consistently for 30 years. Does a lot of people know my name? Probably not. But I know that I can do whatever they give me on any set, on any film set, on any stage. I'm gonna climb up there. I know that I have it. So whatever that's about, I mean, God in the universe knows what that's about. And I believe what I ask for, he's gonna give to me. But I know right now in this, what I'm supposed to be doing. But I know that when I think about all of the work that I've done, it has been a blessing because some of the stuff I don't have to unpack, and I had to sit and take a look at that because it's hard for me to have a conversation with people who only predominantly worked in PWI. It's not because there's something wrong with that. It's because I like to preach what I practice. Mm-hmm. And if I have 53 plays on my resume, which I think I do, I'll say over half of them are from Black theater or works. Because when I walk in, I'm Black. And so they see that. And so I've had because I'm a Penumbra Theater company member of 25 years plus, I've been able to hone my craft on stages like that. So when I went from Penumbra to the Guthrie or Mixed Blood or Center Stage or Lorraine Hansberry in San Francisco, all of these places, because I had a foundation rooted in my Black ass and in my Black work, it was able to transfer other places. So I don't have I was groomed by Black theater makers.
Yes.
Period. And they smart and they went to all the schools and they can with the best of them. But we were unpacking and not just slinging $40 words around. We can sling $40 words forever. But what's the heart of it? Mm-hmm. What do you make? Because people rarely, girl, look, all this stuff that we saying, ain't nobody really gonna remember. But what they will remember is how we made them feel. Maya Angelou. And that is that is the absolute truth, especially with Black people, because we halfway don't listen to y'all asses no way. And so, you know what I mean? Because we got a lot going on, especially as Black women. We all multitasking. After we're finished with this, I got to go do a workshop. You probably got to go do 55,000 things, you know, and we still got stuff on the desk. So I'm saying,
yeah. And what do you think is the, how do I say this? Like the benefit of Black people learning from Black people about especially this craft, right? Because again, just going back to like the griot tradition, like we are storytellers by nature, I believe. It's in our bloodline. Yep. So what do you think is the importance, not saying that you can't go to a PWI, I think there's space and room for all of that. Oh, absolutely. Right? But do you think that it's important, especially to a Black artists and actors development, to also take the time to learn from folks who look like them? Do you think that is like a vital part of someone's development?
I'll start by saying this. I would not be the person that I am if I had not learned that way. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say that, yes, I think it's critical. I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm rough coming. Like I am literally one of those kids that's from the neighborhood that found theater. So a lot of the stuff and all of the etiquette, I may not have. So it wasn't nothing for me to be in a rehearsal at Penumbra Black Theater and part my hair and braiding it, putting grease in it. Right. But I'm saying, but nobody's gonna judge me for my grease and my sunflower. I mean, they might, but it's gonna be a different thing. Like, girl, don't come here. You can't do your hair at home. And sunflower seeds is too loud. We try, But if I was in another situation, I probably would be fired because, Tonya, no, I don't. You know me. Tell me whatever it is. And the brothers and sisters is like, stop with the sunflower seeds. Do your effing hair at home. But it wasn't that they were uncomfortable with that. It's just they had to groom me, to teach me how to be. They didn't fire me. Right. They didn't out me. Right. They didn't treat me less than. They understood that I was a Black young woman, straight up from the block, that just knew that I had a talent and a gift. But all the other stuff you can work on. I was a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so groom me. You know, when I get up there, I'm going to deliver. Cross-eyed, bald head with a bobby pin. I'm going to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
Teach me the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Show me how to sit. Show me how to read my play 5 times. Show me how to have validity and that my work matters.
Yeah.
Show me that I'm not supposed to probably have a shirt up to here with my belly out with all the men up in here. You know what I mean? Not that, you know, that's a whole nother situation. But teach me, because I don't know. Don't throw me away.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I think it's crucial, because we know our stories. We know from which we came. And there's certain things that Black people can say to me that white people better not say to me.
Right. Right.
Especially not at that time when I would fight.
Right.
And so I don't fight anymore, not that way. So it's better for somebody that's like, don't do it. This is not what you want either. So
Yeah.
you're just trying to groom you. So for my grooming, for me to be present, for me to learn more about Baldwin or Audre Lorde or any of the greats that came before us, that learning from Black people is what helped me be here today. I absolutely wouldn't be here. August Wilson, who I knew from being at Penumbra, those words roll out my tongue like it's nothing, because that's just how I speak. I don't have to figure out how to say Wilson. I don't have to put the shit in, how do I, the operatives. It just comes. And I do yes, and I can do everything else too.
Yes, absolutely.
I can do all the things. But this right here, because I'm not anti anything. I'm not anti-white. I'm not anti-Asian. I'm not anti-whatever, but I am pro-Black.
That part.
But I'm not anti anything, because I have everybody in my family. But I am pro, because guess what? There's not a whole bunch of people that are for us like that.
This part, because while I'm not anti anything, I cannot always say the same for them. Now, that's not fair. Yes to all of that, because I was going to say that I think it is crucial to, I agree with you, it's crucial to our development, especially as young artists, to learn from Black folks. I believe. I also think that it's crucial that there's a continuous dismantling of white supremacy in all institutions, and theater making and filmmaking is not exempt. There's a certain grace that Black people are not extended by nature. Like the things that you talked about with, those Black folks saying like, okay, Tonia, maybe not the sunflower seeds this week. Maybe sunflower week, okay, baby, and we just gonna do these lines. But that's a grace that Black people have only ever received from our own people. And it should not be that way. That's the truth. We should all be able to extend that level of grace to somebody who's showing immense potential, somebody who clearly has something to work with, talent, a generous heart, a good spirit, whatever the case may be. We should all be able to extend that grace to each other as humans. Right. And until this world can get itself together, hopefully, hopefully in my lifetime, we'll see. Okay. But until that happens, I think it's very important that Black artists learn from Black people. So yes.
It doesn't have to be your whole narrative.
Not the whole,
yes. What I don't get is people will quickly say, well, I can't just do that all Black, but then you'll go do all white. So listen, one of the things that hurt me the most, one of the things that hurt me the most is that I was talking to a friend and telling them about how I'm choosing to do this specific work. They said to me, well, I'm global. So you mean to tell me that I can't work with my own people and be global at the same time?
Are we not everywhere?
When I know you only been to 5 states in the Union.
Are Black people not everywhere?
That's what I'm saying. That this is what we talk about. I am global. I am for everybody. Yeah. But I am specifically for this because we've been neglected. We've been looked over. And if I have that, then I'm going to give that. Because I see my sisters shine. I don't want them to be mediocre.
Right.
I don't want them to have these insecurities. I don't want them to think that they're less than, because nobody put them in a particular thing. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't understand that being said, because it just felt like a slight, like I was limiting myself, and I'm not limited at all. but
Right.
I know where God has put me, and I know where I'm supposed to be doing. And I stay in my lane. I can't be all over the place like that.
Right.
People be all over the place. I'm like, how you do all of that? I got 7 things going, and I've got to pray 20 times just through the day. So, pick your lane. Pick your
Yeah.
lane. And if multiculturalism is your lane, that's fine. But don't judge me for mine, because I'm
Right.
not judging you for yours. Because guess what? We're all trying to get to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, I know who has hired me in my 30-year career. And I'm saying I've worked all over. I'm not saying they haven't hired me. But for the most part, I told you who has given me my opportunities.
Yes. And one, I want to say this comment from Margot Moore is perfect. We are the globe. We are the first people. Yes, all of that. I would also say, to your point, same goes for me. I've been hired by a variety of people. I've worked with a variety of people, but when I think about some of my biggest opportunities, even coming down to Boomerang, which is the biggest thing I've done to date, a Black woman did that for me.
Mm.
Black people gave me that opportunity. A Black network gave me that opportunity, period. So nobody can ever come to me about Black people and what we do. And nobody saw me the same way that Lena Waithe and Dime Davis saw me. White people were not going to see me, Britney Inge, through the same lens that Lena Waithe and Halle Berry and Dime Davis could see me and what I represent. When I get auditions for, and we're going to wrap this up, y'all. So again, if you have questions, let us know. When I audition for things that are told more through a white lens, I'm seen as, a big girl or a full-figured woman, which I don't have an issue with at all. Black people see me and they're just like, oh, she fine. She curvy. She, and so I'm sick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm as an example of just the difference in perspectives, and how even that has to be addressed. The lens through which we see people who are different from us. All of that has to be dissected and dismantled before we can really get to a place of true equality and moving forward, in a world and a landscape that is truly multicultural. Until the neglect of Black people is addressed and rectified, we all we got. And I think it's important that we continue to look out for each other and pour into each other. So I just wanted to add that.
Saying yes, and when we look at this thing that we're doing right now, Black theater come, Jamil Jude, Black, my grant, my fellowship, Jamil Jude. You know what I mean? And he's as Black as he can be. So I'm saying I want everybody, but this right here, is. These people are the ones who groom, who give me, and like I said, I've worked all over, so I'm not gonna sit and lie and say I ain't been on the main stage at the Alliance or the main stage at the Guthrie or center stage in Baltimore. I have, but in the beginning, it was Penumbra Theater Company and some other folks who helped groom my crazy ass into the artist that I am right now. And I say craziest in the best of terms.
Yes. So to close out, I would want to ask you, like, what would you tell your younger self? Like, what advice would you give to, let's say, well, you started when you were 19. Let's say 25-year-old Tonia Jackson. What say to her? What would maybe your current self say to her, like about her future, or something to that effect? But what advice would you give her?
Pull your shit together. Your stuff is all over the place. You are worthy. You are beautiful. That nose that's spread across your face, it's gonna be fine.
Everything. It's everything.
That Black skin, when they used to call you a Black spook, too tall, too Black, too ugly, all that kind of stuff, that was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
That you are worth it. That you matter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay not to be okay.
Love it.
You're gonna be good, girl. You're gonna be good. Wrong.
I love it. It's okay not to be okay. I love it. We can actually end on that. I don't know that I have anything.
Do we have questions in the box?
I was about to say, let me see because that was everything. I don't see any in this box, but if you guys have any in the comments, we can stick around for like the next couple minutes if you guys want to write or say anything or ask us anything, needed these words. Love it, ladies. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you guys for watching and joining us today. Thank you, Jamil, for having us and asking us to do this. If you guys have any questions, let me see. Oh, I love it.
Is that Tequila? Hey, Tequila.
Hey, Tequila.
She's fantastic, y'all. If you don't know her, get to know her.
She is a gem.
Fantastic. Yes, that I was able to mentor, and that's my dear friend now. She mentors me sometimes because she all the things.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I just also want to say, just because I'm very transparent, of course, I'm really, really nervous about this, Brittany, because I was like, it's me and Brittany and they see us and stuff like that, but my thing is that I just want to make sure that the heart reaches the heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people know that this work is not about ego, that we really, 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 really want to pour into people.
Yeah.
And that we hope that people get something out of this and take what you need and leave the rest.
Yeah.
I'm always, like I said, really nervous and a little bit, in my head about these situations because I in my life, I've had misinformed information by misinformed people. And so I want to be one of those. I'm very intentional and I'm very careful not to do that. I'm very, very, very careful not to do that. I just am. And that's really all that I can say. I love my students. And seeing the things that they're doing, I wish that they could be with me in the midnight hour so that I could see how proud I am of them. And a lot of times it's because of them that I'm able to go on.
Yeah. Yes.
There's a lot of our predecessors, mine, because I'm of a particular age, that are not here anymore.
Right.
Sometimes it was because natural things, and sometimes it's because of pain. And what I want to do is make sure that I just push it all out there so that I can have a long life, so that I can continue to give. And I always want to make sure that my intentions and my motivations are as pure as they can be.
Yep. Yes. And you taught me that too, about really getting all the stuff, I was about to say, all the stuff out and putting it in the work so that you don't have to walk around with this weight in your chest and on your heart. And so that you got to get free to, first of all, do the work that we do. And also, you said, to live a healthy and fruitful life. You got to get free.
And making those genuine connections.
Yeah.
This is another, we don't have to, people talk about when I work with people that I hate networking. I said, well, probably because number one, you're probably being phony about it. And you're probably not networking with the right people. You network with the people who are doing what you want to do. And I'm not just talking about the acting. What kind of acting? If it's about surrealism and avant-garde acting, then you probably should be trying to network with people who do that kind of thing, because that way you can build genuine relationship. My relationship with you as a connection is genuine. My relationship with True Colors and Jamil Jude is genuine. My relationship, so then we bring each other up. So I pulled you into my workshop to be a teacher. So Jamil Jude will call me. All these other people, Lou Bellamy, everybody that I know, it's genuine. That's that networking piece. Be genuine about it and build genuine relationships. And that's going to help you as well. Don't be phony.
Yes. Don't be phony. Be true to who you are and bring that into the space. What do you have to offer to this person whose interests somehow align with yours? Because otherwise, why are you speaking to them? It can't, if it's just because you know their face or you recognize their name, that's not a good enough reason. Yeah, that's not a good enough reason to network with somebody. What do you have to offer? What do you love? What makes you interesting that also is something that interests them? That is how you truly network and connect with people. It's about, like you said, genuine connection. It's not about just trying to get seen or get somebody's number. No, connection. And
being able to stand in that. My first time at the Alliance, I built a connection with Jody Feldman because after I didn't have sense enough not to say what I said, but after I did my audition with her, I knew that they were doing Full Circle, and I asked her, I said, put me in front of Kenny Leon, put me in front of, I do August Wilson, I am a Wilson, I promise. I said, I promise to God, just do it. I'm not gonna make you look bad.
Right.
do it, please. And that was my first show I booked, was the Full Circle, Jimmy the Ocean Radio Golf. We did that at the same time. And now me and her have a relationship. But that was genuine because I lined up with what she was doing, what I needed to do. And my offering was, I'm going to do the hell up out of that show. I'm going to give you Black Mary, and I'm going to give you Maine, and I'm going to do it every night. Sick, blind, bald head. I'm going to do it every night.
Yep.
And that's what I did. And that's a genuine relationship because I showed up for her. I didn't make her look bad when she went and fought for me to be in front of those people. That was the offering that I was able to give to her, was true talent, true honesty to the words that Wilson are speaking. I'm going to offer that and give that 1,000%. Yes. And that relationship has been, is a beautiful, I just adore her.
Yeah. It's been fruitful. And that, I mean, that's what networking is. You connect with someone and then you create some fruit, you know, and that it's really that simple. I believe it should be that simple. Thank you guys for tuning. Any last gems you want to leave everyone with before we, because I don't want it to cut us off.
No, that's it. That's all I have. I over talk it or ramble.
Out everything for y'all. Okay, I hope you were listening. I was listening. You know, obviously, like I said, Tonia is someone who has mentored me and been a friend for years now. But I'm so glad that we were able to have this conversation publicly and just share pieces of ourselves, because that's not even close. We scratched the surface. Okay,
we did. And we be nice and professional and kind.
Yes. And for those of you who are just joining us late, don't worry. It is going to be saved on IGTV. Because again, this is the True Colors podcast. They do it every Thursday. So I'll be saving this to IGTV and you'll be able to watch it there anytime. Share it with a friend, share it on your story, share it with everybody. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Jamil Jude. Thank you, True Colors Theater. And thank you, Tonia Jackson. I adore you. I love you so much.
I adore you back. And let me tell Tequila, I saw your question and the answer is yes. I'm working on that. Okay.
Oh, it says, are you going to teach a class? Oh, yes. She's going to teach a class about the approach to August Wilson pieces. That was the question.
I got to get my Wilson people together, and then we'll do that. It's hard to pull them, honey, because they be busy and they be working. So let me, and maybe in the pandemic I can't, but yes, absolutely. I'm working on that. That's one of my workshops. Yes, Tequila. All right. Bye-bye. So much fun. Everybody, thank you all for listening to us.
Yes,
bye, Britt.
thank you.
Talk to you, love. Bye-bye.